brand. Those who are viewing, you would have known this brand. For sanitary wares, we use Duravic.
Mm.
Kitchen appliances, we use a very famous brand called Gangrenol. So you will actually get a lot of all these important brand names because this is adhering to the standards that we have agreed upon with our partners. Kitchen electricals like fridge, washing machine, all this is actually a dryer and a washing machine.
Okay.
We use Bosch, and of course, also we have included a lot of signature hand selected furniture and fittings. All are imported from you because we're a partner with you. And
Mm.
for example, tiles, marbles, timber flooring are directly imported. We spend a lot of we spend a lot on logistics and back-end process to get all this ready for our buyers. So I mean, I also wanted to share that you know I know a lot of people when they ask about what brands, and I think Vicky, I know where this is going. You're just probably gonna ask me about the workmanship. Right? A lot of
Yes.
developers would been asked this question often. So I'm sure Vicky, you're a very serious person when it comes to developers workmanship and the certain criteria about quality finishing. All this is very important to buyer, and I could resonate with that because I would ask that question as well as a buyer myself. But in Corner, we are actually very passionate about project. We are meticulous and very serious to achieve our product workmanship to the highest standard. So we're actually adopting a QLASIC standard requirement as a guideline for our work finishing.
Mm.
QLASIC actually stands for Quality Assessment System in Construction. So QLASIC assessment actually allows us to carry out a very thorough site inspection through the use of principles in the first time inspection. So the objective is of this principle is to encourage the contractor to do the things right the first time and every time.
Mm.
So all the important parameters in construction is well controlled. So you need to apply to CIDB to request for QLASIC assessment for any project. The assessment is carried out after the issuance of CPC. CPC stands for Certificate of Practical Completion, and before the issuance of written concession or the BP. So usually developers in the past, they may or may not request for QLASIC assessment because it's a very strict assessment to make sure that it meets a certain scoring. So this scoring system actually, if you look at developer for developer, you can know how much they score in order to determine whether that residence that they build is up to par. So in our contract, we benchmark 75%. Uh, 80% is actually the highest right now in the industry. I mean, any
Wow.
developer will say that 80%
Okay.
is very high, and that's our aim right now. Although we put 75, which is already at a good level, we aim to go up to 80% score. So that's our how passionate we are to deliver one of the best quality to our buyers,
Yep.
and I think it's also important that in my opinion, developer of branded residence shouldn't compromise using cheap materials because it won't
Definitely.
last.
I
And
agree.
over time, you face a lot. Yeah, you face a lot of wear and tear.
Mm.
A good developer will use good quality material, which is relevant to certifications and also quality control procedures. Now in Corner, we have dedicated team who run multiple tiers of inspections to ensure that the workmanship is compliant with the international standard. Now we go as detailed as getting experienced inspector for each trade of the work. So for example, the electrical, the M&E, civil structure, interior, architecture. So they need to inspect each one of them. We hire a specialist for each of this area of trade. And it's one of our practice to ensure best result.
Mm.
So ultimately, the most important element in achieving this good workmanship is the people that we have to be part of this project, from the workers to the supervision team. All of them are well trained and experienced and understand the goal that we are aiming. So I think This basically is our our idea in getting through, and we're already implementing this as we go along the way. So aside from this, there's also a lot of, I think, if you may allow, Vicky, there's also a lot of questions surrounding. Now we know, how hard is it to develop branded residence, what side of criteria. When we talk about criteria, then the next question would be, how do you define branded residence? I
Mm.
mean, what are the certain criterias to meet to in order to call yourself in this category? So you can have luxury residence decorated in so many ways. um, they call themselves, very atas lah, very high
High end.
class, but
Yeah.
it's hidden some area that no one can ever find. So are those branded residents? I don't think so. So because we've been through in this industry long enough to screen through them, and we actually realize, there's actually five things that you need to make sure that you are part of this category. Number one, it has to be in a prime location.
Mm.
Prime location has to be number one, because if you're located somewhere else and it's very high, you provide very high luxury, it's not it's not branded residence. I mean,
Yes.
how do people travel? How do people connect to all the areas that they want? Like, for example, the hottest shopping mall, the famous landmark like the Petronas Twin Tower. These are the hot spots.
I think not just
That's
that.
number
I,
one.
I find that when we go to any part of the world, the first thing that I would like to see is the city lights. The view, the scene is priceless. I mean, I love that. I would say that a lot of people like the city view as well. That's why they live in the city.
The experience, right? I mean,
Yes,
everyone who understands luxury would cannot compromise with bad experience. You can't be in somewhere that nobody can reach you, and it's just dangerous just thinking about staying in those areas. So prime location is definitely number one. Then we move on to number two. Number two is it has to be affiliated with a prestigious brand. You have to have a brand. Any brand will do, as long it's actually a stamp to that residence. You can't have, I don't know, you know, a Chinese name or a Malay name, but I'm just saying. So it has to come with that certain that certain prestigious brand that's
correct.
attached to it. So then it gives you some sort of bragging rights, and also it elevate your social class, because it's all world class recognition. So that's number two. Number three, of course, we talk about services. So services has to be part of this residence as integrated uh, uh, treatment that the resident will get from the hotel. It has to be a five-star hotel, because then you get a much more better quality treatment
Yes.
as opposed to just an average hotel. We don't want an average hotel.
I'm also
We
very
want the
curious.
best.
I'm also very curious because I heard that your Kapinski actually offer, the cook actually offer to cook in your condo if you are not able to go to the restaurant. Is that a such
Yes.
service? Wow,
Yes, in fact, Kempinski only hired Michelin star chef.
correct.
Is one of the best cook that can create excellent dishes that is world class recognized. And I think you know if you cannot enjoy Michelin star dishes, if you need to travel, you
Mm.
don't need to now,
Yes,
because we are bringing that to you as part of these services. So five star hotel services doesn't just limit to a private chef, but also you get like a lot of other services that's more convenient. Especially for families, if you need someone to take care of your children, or you need someone to help you clean the house and all that. It's all part of the services. So it's like you're really staying in a hotel, but the difference is you own this residence. So that's number three. Then we move on to number four. This is very important because number four, basically it has to be designed by a renowned architect.
yes.
Because if you're not hiring one of the best architect, you won't have one of the best residents. And I
Correct.
think